What if I told you that there was a Tom Brady item much more rare than his rookie cards? What's up, guys? It's Frank from Trove, and welcome to the Journey to Collectible, where we tell you the backstories behind some of the most incredible items in the collectible space. We've seen a very clear trend over the last decade. People are craving alternative assets, and the scarce and most desirable items have been appreciating at a super high rate. Tom Brady's most valuable rookie card is his Contenders Championship Ticket Auto, which is limited to 100 copies. Back in 2016, when Tom Brady was already a four-time Super Bowl champion, we saw this card sell for under $25,000 in a BGS 9 grade. Now, in June 2021, we saw this card most recently sell in the same BGS 9 grade for over $3 million. If we look at his most popular rookie card, the flagship Bowman Chrome base rookie card PSA 10, there's over 1,000 PSA 10 copies. There's thousands of copies of this card in general. In early 2020, this card in the PSA 10 grade was selling for roughly $2,000. In early 2022, this card is selling for $20,000. The logic behind wanting to collect the Tom Brady item is super simple. He's the greatest football player this world has ever seen, and people want to own items that are directly connected with him. Rookie cards are a great way to show that the demand in the collectible space has increased over the years, but it's not the only vertical to look at. In January 2022, we saw a Tom Brady game-worn autographed jersey sell for $480,000. But today, I don't want to talk about cards or memorabilia. I want to talk about a different vertical in the collectible space that started to see a lot of momentum in 2021, and I believe that is going to continue. And the area of the market that I'm talking about is tickets from really important sporting events. On the Collectible platform, they have a massive Tom Brady rookie debut ticket. So let me give you the backstory on the ticket market in general and why this Brady debut ticket might be the most iconic piece in the entire ticket world. Tickets throughout history, in essence, haven't been intended to be collected. They've been used to be able to get yourself into an event. What's unique about tickets relative to sports cards is the fact that they're directly attached to a particular moment in history. Whether it's the debut game of a legend or one of the most important games that happened in sports history, these tickets act as a piece of history remaining from it. Similar to many other collectibles, nostalgia has been a driving factor into why they've become so appealing. For someone new to the collecting space, it's going to take time to know the differences between parallels and to understand why certain card products sell for more than others. But when we're looking at tickets, something that is very interesting about it is the fact that any sports fan can look at the ticket that you own and they can understand why it's special and what happened during that game. But besides these factors for why tickets have become appealing to collectors, I've left out the most desirable feature about them, which is the fact that they're so scarce. And the reason why tickets are so rare is quite simple. People who went to sporting events never really thought about keeping them. And something not being worth money in the past and now being worth a ton of money isn't something that's new to the collectible space. If we think about vintage baseball cards, these cards were intended for kids. There's stories about kids putting valuable baseball cards in their bicycle spokes and not protecting these cards and just throwing them around. And now we're looking 50, 60, 70 years later, and when we look at the highest condition copies of these cards, they're selling for millions of dollars because they're so rare. Let's consider the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle card. Think about how many kids opened up that card in a pack. Nobody put it in a top loader. What these kids did was they played with it, and there were some people that stored these cards away, and that's why there are some in very high condition, but it's extremely, extremely rare. And all this background leads perfectly into describing Tom Brady's rookie debut ticket. Tom Brady was drafted 199th in the 2000 NFL draft coming out of Michigan, and he didn't even know if he was going to make the NFL. Every summer while in college, he had internships, and Tom Brady, when he left Michigan, even made a resume just in case he had to get a real job. In Tom's rookie season, he only stepped on the field in one game, which was on November 23rd, 2000 at the Silver Dome in Detroit. The Patriots were down 34-9. Drew Bledsoe had a thumb injury, so Tom Brady entered the game, and he only threw 3 passes. His first 2 passes were incompletions, and the third was a reception to his tight end for 6 yards. This was the only completion Tom Brady had his entire rookie season. But what nobody in the stadium knew was the fact that Tom was going to become the greatest football player of all time. On the Collectible platform, they have an incredible PSA 7 copy of this debut ticket, and it's not just the stub, it's the entire ticket, which makes it more desirable. And there's 3 different types of tickets from this debut game. There's the one that was given out to Lions season ticket holders, there's the one from the box office officially, and there's one from Ticketmaster. And the copy on Collectible is from the box office, and it's important to note this because the season ticket holder version, these were people that would get their tickets in a booklet. They may be more inclined long-term to hold on to it as a piece of history, but people picking up these tickets at the box office, typically from will call, these weren't people that would naturally be wanting to collect these tickets. And after watching a random game where the Patriots got blown out by the Lions, who would have thought that this would become a valuable ticket to hold on to? Many people, frankly, just had this ticket in their pocket, and after the game, they threw it out within 24 hours. The copy on Collectible is a PSA 7 Pop 1, and there's only one graded higher. And there are some autographed copies of this ticket, but collectors who have been in the space don't generally want to collect those as much because it's not the original ticket. When a player autographs the ticket on his own, it is defacing the surface of the ticket, which some collectors don't want to see. This isn't just the ticket stub, it's the whole ticket, and I'm honestly surprised even any of them exist at a high grade. If we consider all the different versions of the ticket and all the different grades in the autograph copies, the PSA Pop Report only has 42 total. And in my eyes, it's very unlikely that more than just a few of these tickets end up hitting the market in the future that are in as high of a grade as this one. I don't expect the pop of this ticket, adding up all the different grades, to ever break 100. If someone was still holding on to it and it's still in good condition and they were cherishing it, they would have gotten it graded by now. So what has it been selling for? In October 2021, we saw a PSA 2 of this box office ticket sell for $26,000. And this was just the stub, it's not the whole ticket. So Collectable having an IPO of $107,750 for this Tom Brady debut ticket seems like a very fair offering. And the last point to make about this ticket is the fact that with some high-end sports cards, people don't want to do fractional because they could just buy a lower grade that they can afford. Some people may prefer to buy a low-grade 86 Fleer Jordan, there's thousands of copies of them, rather than buying in fractional shares into a PSA 10 or other high grade. But if we're looking at this Tom Brady debut ticket, the population in general is under 50. Even to get your hands on a low-condition copy is nearly impossible. This Tom Brady debut ticket is a piece of history, and I wouldn't be surprised if this copy is sitting in Canton, Ohio at the Football Hall of Fame one day. To be able to invest in a super scarce collectible from that moment is so special to me.